given your depth of portfolio that you manage and your day-to-day role, what's your number one priority at Cigna when it comes to data and analytics?
Yeah, so managing a portfolio of over 30 countries and using data analytics is in itself a big challenge, as I said before, but that's where it's very exciting because there are plenty of opportunities. So, but when you look at what is happening in industry, many companies are prioritizing its focus on data analytics, ML, machine learning, and AI, because they want to stay competitive. And interestingly, many other companies want to chase the hype curve, not really knowing what they are doing, but be part of that buzz these fields have created so that they are not left behind, which is great for data analytics field or AI field because it's evolving. However, as a chief data analytics officer for an organization, my advice that it's important to help and guide or educate your business stakeholders to understand the reality, practicality, possible risks, opportunities, challenges, and importantly, their responsibilities to achieve favorable outcomes for the business when investing in these fields. So that's very important. So as the Chief Data Analytics Officer for Cigna International Markets, I cover over 30 countries and jurisdictions globally. This makes my task of identifying and prioritizing data analytics-driven business use cases that would create value for the business, which is an interesting challenge by itself, but a great opportunity to focus on what really matters for the business. That's the key point, what really matters for the business. So my number one priority is identifying those use cases that are important to the markets, the countries or regions from an impact perspective, and then executing, operationalizing, and measuring the business value created by these use cases. And most importantly, by hand-holding my business stakeholders throughout this journey. What they don't know is what they don't know with data analytics, but it's our responsibility as a data analytics officer to take them through this journey. And it's part of that data literacy, which you see people talking about. So it is, of course, natural that for every country CEO or regional CEO, if you take international market, they want to focus on data analytics use cases, and with the hope that that will create value for the business. However, it is equally important for the business leaders and my team to keep in mind the strategic priority of our international markets division as a whole, because the shareholder value is determined by how well we perform as a division, not just as a business unit. So to that end, my team has built a comprehensive data analytics business use case and value creation prioritization framework. So we take all these use cases coming from all these countries and regions. We then apply the framework on these use cases using a number of key decision enabling filters specific to those businesses, as well as international markets function as a whole, to get that right balance, which would then help us make informed decision on what use cases we need to focus on and why, and what does it mean for business unit as well as international markets. So what really matters, that's what I was trying to allude to here. So we apply this framework diligently by working closely with our business leaders, business stakeholders, and our partners, particularly our IT partners, in prioritizing and finalizing these use cases that we need to focus on. So during this planning stage of the use case project planning stage, we ensure that the business agrees and commits to the benefits that the use case will be generated. And if you commit to the benefits the use case will be generated out of these use cases, it means that you are committing to operationalizing the use cases as part of your BAU. Because if you don't operationalize, you can't measure value. So that's how I go through, and that's my number one priority, actually.
That's great. And I think you hit on something very important there on business value. So as you see kind of your business leaders, your business counterparts beginning to understand the importance of data and analytics, how are you seeing analytics transform from maybe used to be a secondary business focus to now it's the core business focus?
Yeah. Given that I have a background being in the industry for 30 years with technology and data background, I've been closely watching its evolution in industry. It has been only in the last couple of years that organizations have started to realize that data is in fact a strategic and competitive asset of the organization, and therefore it's its lifeblood. And the art of possibilities with data is beyond comprehension, actually. And because it's a business asset, today's technology is tomorrow's legacy. People come and go, processes change, but data, we keep accumulating data because it's like you go and you dig into the data, you get gold nuggets. That's what it is. But priority in the past has always been given to people, process, and technology, and data was always taken for granted. And industry rarely realizes that data fuels people, process, and technology because it's the common denominator. But thankfully, with advancement of technology in the last few years, and the ability to process large amounts of data of various types and veracity at record speed has given industries the ability to slice and dice data. So this has allowed to exploit and explore data and present it in a form that helps business to understand the insights generated from data better and derive value from the business. Once you start interpreting the data, there are endless possibilities in terms of creating value from data. This has therefore led to data science being crowned as the sexiest job of the 21st century, and no question about it. But business leaders are now starting to understand the importance of data analytics to accelerate business initiatives. Instead of being a secondary focus completed by a separate team, data analytics is shifting to be a core function, but at a relatively slow pace. One of the main reasons is business leaders often underestimate the complexities of data, requiring investment to address the fundamental challenges with data and end up with missed opportunity. The fundamental challenges we all know because of legacy systems, legacy processes, broken technologies. Nobody thought about data first and design process or systems around that. It was always technology first. So they have legacy. So they have been underestimating that. And that has been a massive challenge even now. So they need to understand that creating a data-driven organization is a cultural transformation journey. It cannot happen overnight. And there's no silver bullet. And it requires commitment, patience, persistence, and proactiveness to do that. So the COVID-19 pandemic has expedited the delivery of digital solutions across industry. We talked about it. Whether an organization's larger goal is to achieve digital transformation, compete on analytics, or become AI first, embracing and successfully managing data as a strategic asset in all its form by making data a core business function is an essential prerequisite. That's what industries have started to realize that. And critical obstacles with regard to managing data still must be overcome before companies begin to see meaningful benefit from big data analytics and AI investment. It's going to be an interesting next few years or next decade to see how business leaders would address this challenge if they truly see data and analytics as a core business function. That's my view.
No, that's great. I think you obviously have articulated the benefits of data. I think you hit on one thing there, and I heard challenges. So from a challenge perspective, what do you see the biggest challenge in your data and analytics strategy, or more along the lines of if of these challenges, how do you plan to address them?
Again, my 30 years of experience comes in place. So this is my view, my own view. Performing analytics or advanced analytics and building data-driven intelligent solutions, say example, AI solutions to drive business outcomes using data, does not necessarily mean an organization is data-driven or has a data-driven culture. This is my view. Because data analytics is one component of the whole data lifecycle. So to me, what is a true organization data-driven culture? So an organization has a data-driven culture if it is able to manage and govern the life cycle of its data assets effectively and efficiently. So this, if you are able to do that, it will enable the organization to organize its data assets, democratize the data for consumption. Democratization of data helps to drive data-related activities in an acceptable manner in order to make informed decisions, create value, resolve conflicts, and importantly, manage risks. But by the way, the life cycle of data covers right from collection or acquisition of data, organization of data, then you have storage of data, use of data. That's where analytics comes. Analytics and AI are on the use side. And then you have retention and destruction of data. And then this data life cycle is supported by data governance, data quality, meta and master data, data definition, data lineage, data privacy and security, data ethics, and importantly, data risk management. As you can see, it's a whole area. It's a massive area that you have to focus end to end and not just analytics and AI and say that I'm a data-driven company. So a recent MIT study shows that only 13% of the organizations delivered measurable business value through DNA, through data analytics. How did they manage to do that? And why only 13%? Because these organizations succeeded by paying attention to the foundation of sound data management, data architecture, and data-driven culture, which enabled them to have that platform to democratize data and derive value from advanced analytics and AI solutions. So because, and you can see from industry study, close to 80% of the effort is spent on preparing data for value creation through data science or AI solutions. And the only way to address this challenge is to democratize data through technologies and processes by getting the right data to the right place at the right time with the right quality and right security, and ensuring people have the right skills. Perhaps most importantly, it requires data literate senior executives to drive the right culture by ensuring that the data assets flow seamlessly and interoperate across the organization's business processes and technology systems and reaches the hands of the users with minimum fuss. I know it's a big statement, but that is where the foundational work is important if you want to drive that culture. So it is important that the data strategy that an organization comes up with should ensure that it addresses the data management, data governance, data literacy, and data analytics areas by having a well-defined and thought-out initiatives that incrementally build capabilities in these areas by linking them to business outcomes and value creation. You need to focus in all these areas for your data strategy to be successful. So this is my view.